Hey everybody, I'm here today to show you how to change lanes in less than 10 seconds. In this video, I'll be going over the lane changing process with regards to safety and steering. And I'm going to show you how to do the whole thing, the whole lane change in less than 10 seconds. Now, I have this little magical number of 10 seconds simply because when people are learning to drive, oftentimes their lane changes will take a long time. And you should most definitely be able to change lanes in less than 10 seconds effectively. So with that being said, let's get right into it. I'm going to explain the steps first, and then I'll demonstrate myself changing lanes multiple times just to show you exactly how it's done. The first thing that you have to do, or the first thing that you should do, is put your signal on. Now, the reason that I say to put your signal on first is because your signal allows other drivers to know what your intentions are. It allows other drivers to know that you intend on changing lanes to the right or to the left. And while your signal is on, you can then start doing your safety checks. Now that means that you're doing your safety checks while your signal is on. So that means that as you're doing your safety checks, you're also allowing other drivers to know what your intentions are. You're saving time, okay, by signaling first. So the first step is to signal. Then you're going to start your safety checks. Now for the safety checks, you want to check your rear view mirror. You want to check your side mirror on the side that you're switching towards, right or left. And you want to check your side blind spot on the side that you're switching towards, right or left. Once you have deemed that it is absolutely safe to change lanes, at that point you're going to switch lanes. And the whole process will take less than 10 seconds from putting your signal on to getting into the other lane and driving in that next lane that you're driving in the next lane that you're driving in. Now I'm going to demonstrate it, and then I'll give you a few quick tips for changing lanes safely, smoothly, and effectively. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and go through the process. Let's get right to it. Right signal goes on. I'm checking my rear view mirror, my right side mirror, my right blind spot. It's safe to change lanes, so I'm slightly steering to the right and then slightly steering to the left to straighten out in this new lane. That's it. The whole process took well under 10 seconds, and I even extended it because I was explaining what I was doing. I'm gonna do it one more time to switch lanes to the left because I'm gonna have to make a left-hand turn very soon. So let's go ahead and do it one more time. Left signal goes on, rear view mirror, left side mirror, left blind spot, safe to change lanes, steering slightly to the left, and then now that I'm in the new lane, I'm steering a little bit to the right to straighten my car out. So now that I've done that, and I'm just gonna go ahead and switch into this lane, into the turning lane. Now that I've done that, I'm gonna give you a few quick tips and pointers for changing lanes safely, smoothly, and effectively, okay? First and foremost, you have to be assertive. You have to be decisive. Know when you're gonna change lanes and know in advance. You don't wanna just all of a sudden have to change lanes at the last possible moment because you have to get into the turning lane or you have to turn. You wanna know when to change lanes in advance. This is gonna give you enough notice so that you're not making a quick decision, because that's when bad things happen when you're driving, is when you try to make decisions that are definitely too quick. The next quick tip is to steer smoothly. What you want to do is you want to make sure that as you're steering, you're not steering very aggressively. You're steering nice and smoothly and allowing yourself and your car to change lanes in a nice, smooth fashion, okay? The next thing is maintaining speed. You want to make sure to be able to maintain your speed as you're changing lanes. So once again, as you're switching lanes, you should be able to maintain your speed. So check this out. I'm going to switch lanes to the right because I have to make a right-hand turn very shortly. Not very shortly, but coming up ahead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the process. Right signal goes on, checking the rear view mirror, right side mirror, right blind spot, steering slightly to the right now that it's safe to do so, then slightly to the left to straighten out the vehicle. Now, like I said, the key is to maintain your speed. I was going approximately 40 kilometers an hour in that lane, and as I switched, I maintained that speed of 40 kilometers an hour, give or take, and I also am maintaining that speed of 40 kilometers an hour in this new lane, give or take. So with that being said, you really want to make sure that you are maintaining your speed as much as possible. You don't want to have to accelerate or brake during the lane change process. There's a simple exception, sort of an exception to this rule, and that is if you're passing a car. Now, if you're passing a car, you obviously have to accelerate to gain speed to pass the car. Now, with that being said, if you're in a situation where you're passing the car, you should be switching lanes and then accelerating only when you're in the new lane. Don't accelerate during the lane change process. Accelerate when you're in the new lane, okay? Once again, I'm gonna just complete the lane change one more time, or even a few more times. Right signal goes on, I'm checking my rear view mirror, checking my right side mirror, checking my right blind spot, and I'm steering slightly to the right, maintaining speed, then slightly to the left to straighten out. So as you can see right there, another tip is that I'm using two hands on the wheel when I change lanes because it gives me the maximum amount of control. You should try as often as possible to change lanes with two hands on the wheel because it will indeed give you the most control. There are situations in which you will be changing lanes with one hand, like if you're shifting gears in a manual car while you're changing lanes, but you want to keep that to as little as possible. You want to use two hands to steer through the lane change as often as possible. And the last tip that I will give you for this video on changing lanes is that when you do change lanes, you have to counter steer to straighten your car out. So if I'm switching lanes to the right here, which I will be doing right now, you'll see that I'm going to steer to the right and then steer to the left to straighten out my vehicle in the new lane. Right signal goes on, rear view mirror, right side mirror, right blind spot, steering to the right with two hands, and then now I'm steering to the left, just like that. Now, there was a little bit of a slight curve in the road there, that's why I had to oversteer a little bit to the left. But that's basically it. In this video, I have shown you and told you how to change lanes in less than 10 seconds. I've outlined the process for changing lanes, and I've outlined it in a way that allows you to do it in less than 10 seconds, which is very achievable for all drivers. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment, and of course be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.